Way behind.
Oh, we're already live. No countdown, no nothing, just live.
Yeah, I know. It didn't go. Oh, well.
It's all right.
Hey, everybody.
Mitch Bremen here tonight.
Mitchell, if you didn't know, Mr. Jeff Kane is another 3D printer guy.
Awesome.
And fish breeder and fisherman and whatever other names you want to call him, you can call him.
I've been called a lot.
Beard extraordinaire. So what all you got going on there, Mitchell? You got anything new going on?
I've recently I have the main things that I'm interested in, generally like lots of quarries, but then I also periodically bounce between the side project sorts of things. So I've started to get into a few different kinds of hill trouts. So like some Chinese and Indian sorts of things. So if you've ever heard of, has possibly the greatest scientific name, but one of the most useless common names. The common name is the pale chub, but it is not pale at all. The scientific name is Zaccoplatypus.
Zaccoplatypus.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
As soon as you actually see a picture of them, it's amazing. But started to get into a few different sorts of hill trouts, a few other weird oddball sorts of things, but mostly those guys. Trying to get them to. I've seen them breed in my tank, but I'm trying to adjust the environment so I can properly collect the eggs from them, because they almost immediately turn around and eat them right now, the way I have it.
Yeah.
It's like, come
That
on,
sounds pretty
guys.
normal, yeah.
Familiar with them, Jeff?
What's that?
You familiar with them?
Not in particular. I do know some of the hill trouts. They are pretty cool, but some of them get pretty big.
Yeah, so these guys will get maybe 4.5, 5 inches or so. I also am working on another hill trout from, I believe it's India. It's like I can't remember its common name, but it is a Barrelus ardens. It's like an orange finned hill trout. One of the interesting things about hill trouts are they're super fast at swimming all the time. Yeah. They're from high current sorts of things. So both of these guys is as soon as you feed them, the feeding frenzy is just amazing.
I have to do some checking. Glad you could join us, Alex.
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
Slacker.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Good.
Mitchell, good to see you again. Long time no see. It's been a week.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I looked up that fish. That is quite the spectacular fish.
Oh yeah, take a look at it. It's the dominant males. It's kind of weird on them. Their anal fin will get very extended and very bright colored. They're really cool, interesting fish.
Was that a chub you said? What kind?
Well, yeah, they call it the pale chub is the common name, but the scientific name is Zacco, Zacco. I think it is platypus.
Yeah, I see it. Wow, this is amazing.
Is it the emerald rasbora?
No.
No.
Looks similar to that. The coloring and markings.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. These guys will get 4.5, 5 inches or so, but
yeah,
coloring. Yeah, kind of. I can see they sort of look similar coloring.
I'll put it in chat here.
Yeah.
Beat you to it.
Definitely have to check those out.
They look like they get pretty good size, though. I mean, I haven't read them all, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's so many fish out there we haven't kept.
oh, it's a blackwater fish, right? Kind of likes organic waters, so
yeah. It can be in. It's not black water, but it does like a good bit of organics in the water.
Yeah.
So not necessarily like tannins, but just organics. Let me see if I can find how to spell the other one's name.
The wet spot has them right now.
Yeah, I think that's where I actually got them.
yeah, I saw that. Like $25 a piece. Alex, you need to get like a group of 10 and start
I'm
breeding.
still trying to get him to buy a group of Vulcans.
Those are pretty expensive.
We'd have to take a group collection here to buy a group of Vulcans.
Yeah,
Alex can swing 20 of them at once.
He's going to sell his charger to do it.
20, I thought he could swing 30 of them.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do a breeding project of them, I wouldn't mind helping finance it.
I have some. They have not yet bred for me, but they do have the extended dorsals. So I just don't think
Should
I'm
be
at the
ready.
right time of year for them.
yeah.
Or I have this is warm outside, so it's a pain to produce a cool water. So I haven't done a whole lot of intentional breeding of cories during the summer. I tend to
Yeah.
do it towards the fall and the winter time kind of thing.
Yeah, from what I remember, the Vulcans spawn around spring.
Didn't you have some Vulcans at one time, Jeff?
Yeah, I had 7, now I have 1.
Oh, that's tough.
Well, there was no apparent reason for them to die. I mean, everything was good. Water was good. Food was good. They just like fell over. No discoloration. Just stopped swimming.
Check out this second link I just posted. This guy says it's 6 months old and about 6 inches.
So the one I pasted in chat is the other hill trout I'm working with. They're, I believe, from India. Barrellus ardens.
Perilous Ardens.
I don't know what their common name is.
Mm,
Might be one of the ones that doesn't have a common name.
That's another really different looking fish.
The hill trouts are they're very fast. They really need like more current, but they also, because of that, they need more space. So 50s, 75s and up is more where you really need to be to do a hill trout, which is kind of funny because almost all of my tanks are small, but the few large ones I have that were free at the time, I'll try some hill trouts.
That would be a very good choice for the 50-gallon project that we were just talking about.
Yeah,
So
Everybody's going crazy over those tanks.
Low and long.
I have
Yeah.
the Zyco platypus are in one of those 4-foot low tanks because they like to stay near the bottom. So like rocky bottoms with sand where they'll like wallow out a pit to spawn in the current. So that's a perfect shape tank for those guys. And I put a big power head in one end of it.
June's pretty funny there. She refuses to look up any more fish because her book is full of you fish pushers. We might have only suggested a few hundred.
Mm.
And there's so many more to go.
Yeah,
True.
never ending.
Plus so many that haven't even been discovered yet.
That's one of the cool things about the hobby. Like, you get a little bit disinterested in what you're working with now, there's something else out there.
Always. Like me, I've gone from monster fish, now I'm into the oddballs, rarer fish. G'dayids.
That's an easy rabbit hole to fall into, though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
None of these are on Aquabid.
Especially when you know somebody who has them.
When Greg came to visit us last weekend, I was kind of hoping he was going to bring some, like he did last year.
You probably would have if you'd asked.
Maybe I'll have to email him.
It was interesting. So he came by my fish room,
Mhm.
Greg Sage did, and he was talking about like when he finally does decide to downsize and like actually like play with other things that he's kind of interested in. So he was taking notes, and one of them was specifically those Zaccoplatypus. He's like, okay, so tell me about these guys. So apparently he has on his list one of the next things that if he ever does actually downsize some, he may be trying those too.
He did downsize a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's just like the rest of us. I've been to his house 3 times. Every time I go down the stairs, it's all completely turned around. He's changing everything. And I'm like, what happened? Well, I started doing this and I started, I got rid of those and holy crap, dude, I was just here 9 months ago. There was a rack right here. Where's it at?
It's outside.
Yeah.
It's behind the pallet of green beans.
Yeah. He don't have that anymore.
Those were out in the garage right next to the pile of the what's that white stuff? Filter floss?
Mhm.
Polyfill.
Yeah, he
For his,
bought that
for his sump.
like 100, what is it, 100 cubic feet or something bag. It's like Home Depot has to deliver it to you or somebody. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I've talked to Greg here a while back. He has agreed to join us up here too, so that'll be interesting.
that'll be good.
Yeah.
So how are your fireballs doing?
I have tons of them. They
Yeah.
drop eggs for me every maybe week or so. It's not a lot. I get like
A few eggs here and there.
15 or 20 or so most of the
Yeah.
time. Sometimes a little bit less, but it's constant.
Is there any of them you haven't been able to get to breed?
Yeah. So the interesting thing. So the very first Cory that actually got me into Cories is called a Cani. It is actually one of the Project Piaba
Jeff's looking.
fish. If you're familiar with Project Piaba, they got me into to Cories. I never got around to breeding them. Like I tried for a couple of years or so, couldn't do it. So the very first Cory that got me interested in Cories, I've never actually bred. So now I'm thinking about like trying to pick them up again after I've had lots of experience now. And maybe
I've been looking. I can't find them.
I think they're a seasonal thing too. So
Yeah. I've been watching them on everybody's mail list, and so far not. I think over a year now.
But yeah, there's a few others. I've probably bred about maybe 70% or so of the different kinds of cories that I keep.
Now, do you do them all with the drought season, or just a cold water thing, or everyone's different? Or?
Most, they're all really different, but most of them don't need like a dry season. Um, Oddly, it kind of turns out that the ones that are generally like some of the super expensive ones that you really don't want to hurt, you got to do like a dry season, which is super scary for them. So you're putting an expensive, scary, you don't want to hurt fish in a really bad situation for like sometimes up to like 3 or 4 months. Come on, guys, stop it.
Are you working with Equus or?
Yeah, I've done Equus before. With Equus, I've only had to do. There's 2 different ways to breed Equus. I don't know the specifics of the actual details of the water parameters that are needed, but I do know that some people have like started with RO and remineralized it specific to what they need. I just don't know those details. So some people do it that way, but I've done it with a smaller dry season, maybe a month-long dry season or so for those guys.
Yeah, I know there's one group I want to get, the Equus and the Canine, and then rebuild my Vulcans at some point in time.
Yeah, the Pantalensis are one of them that you need a 4-month dry season on. So I've tried them a few different times and have not yet triggered them. So when we come up on towards the end of this year, it's so about 4 months or so before the end of the year. So actually, it's probably kind of close to right about now. I need to start them in a dry season. I need to start them so that they'll around the end of the year be ready to come out of a dry season. So at that time, I can have like cold water out of the tap. Because like right now, my water out of the tap is like in the mid 80s and kind of hard to trigger a cory that way. And it's just a real pain if you like try and like cool water down enough to do big water changes. That's a pain. So
out of the tap for me, my pH is 5.9, and it's got like 18 to 30 TDS usually.
Yeah.
And it also comes out of the tap at like 58 degrees year round.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. That is like perfect cory triggering water.
Yeah. I have what I need to do it. I just need the time. Time is what gets me. Either I get the babies and I don't have enough time to feed them, or depends on how big my clutch is. Small clutches work better for me because the food lasts longer.
Yep.
Sometimes I have 20 some hour days for work, so it's a little rough.
Sure.
Jody P in the chat is asking about your Hillstream loaches. What kind you have?
I actually only have a couple of them, and they're nothing like Jody P's. I have some Bloody Marys, and I have a Soelia Arlis, starts with an A. It's a not super common, but not really a rare one. I don't really do a whole lot with them. That's one of the things. If I have some, sometime I'll get around to playing with them. I'm growing out the Bloody Marys because they came in, and yeah, that's it, Alice. The Bloody Marys just came in so tiny that they're just going to take a while to grow up.
Yeah.
No, it's the Analyst, Jody P.
You played around much with the
Sorry, what'd you say?
with bettas? You played around much with those?
I have never actually had a domestic betta splendens, but I have I was really into wild bettas for a long time. So
Yeah.
I've bred like 14 or 15 different species of wild bettas.
See, I just got
Ruber's my
some of the-
favorite.
I just got the
Maculatus.
the Maculatus.
Oh yeah, I like the big mouth breeders. So I lump the wild bettas into like two groups. There's like the small, shy, skittish ones that like are really cool, but like they see you coming, they hide. And then there's the big mouth brooders that like they see you coming and they come up to you and are very interactive with you. And like little like water puppies, like you put your hand in the tank and they'll like play with you, sort of thing. I tended to like the big wild bettas, like the Unimaculatas, and Patoide is the one I did for forever.
First time I've had them, so we'll see how they do. I know like the Splendas and them, they just don't
tight-fitting
seem to
lids.
last.
Tight fitting lids. So the lots of fish jump, but bettas can aim. Like it's amazing. A lot of fish like they'll jump and they may like hit a flat surface like the underside of the lid or up the side, and that's how they end up bouncing out because they're not necessarily great at aiming. Or if you just don't have a lid at all, they can definitely go out. But bettas, I've actually seen a betta jump straight up. Oh, the surface of the water was at least 6 inches below the lid, and it aimed for a 1 inch wide hole that it shot straight out of. And this was a 4.5 inch long betta patoide. It was able to aim that well straight up.
Yeah. I had a problem with mine. I had them with super red bristlenose, and they tried to go in to steal the eggs, and then that bristlenose would murder them. It took me a while to figure out what was going on, because he would eat them, and there wouldn't be any body left. So
They were just disappearing.
yeah, they were just disappearing. I couldn't find them on the floor. I couldn't find them anywhere. They were just gone. And I got down to one fish by the time I figured out what was going on. And then I had babies in there, fortunately, so I kept them going for a while. But yeah, it's definitely a lesson learned.
Now, see, Jeff, you just need to set your fisher room up how Mitchell's is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. All I need to do is retire and actually focus on fishing. And I need more time, like 48-hour days or 72-hour days or something.
Never enough time.
But still only have to work 8 of them.
Yeah.
Mitchell, I've got a question for you about how did you collect your rainbow shiners?
So I decided I found rainbow shiners online.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up buying them online. Literally, is like maybe 10 days or so later, I learned from a guy in our club that there's a easy to get to collection point 10 minutes from my house.
Really?
Because I could have gotten native out of the stream however many I wanted, rather than have gotten an aquarium grade or aquarium strain version of them.
Who did you source them from?
They were from Aquabid. Someone on
Was
Aquabid.
it White Cloud Dynasty by chance?
No, it was a
Okay.
guy out west somewhere in Mississippi, I think it was, or Missouri, some middle state.
We're all still waiting on Alex to go collect them because he's going to
Yep.
send them to us. And
My
Oh, I'm still
my-
waiting for
my
you to
dad
go collect those shiners.
My dad went hiking and saw what he said was a whole bunch of red fish that he thought was like a clump of algae or something, and got closer and realized they were fish. And he sent me a picture and described it. I was like, "Yep, those are rainbow shiners. Where are you?"
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you not on stream where it was because I don't want to have a certain spot just over pulled from or
Yeah.
something.
Did he drop a pin for you?
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
Get after it.
Hmm
Couple 5-gallon buckets.
My daily limit is 50 per person. So,
Oh, really?
mhm.
Well, that's enough for us.
That's not too bad.
That's
Yeah.
enough for us.
Definitely. You have to take some to Mitchell too.
So I'm actually eventually letting go of my rainbow shiners. I don't know if it's hard. You may be able to see it. There's a dark fish in this tank, so there's rainbow shiners in this tank. But there's also a darker fish in here that's a young one that's growing up. Those are fiery black shiners. So look those guys up, fiery black shiners. They'll get to maybe 4 inches or so. They're if you've ever heard of something like a war paint shiner or something like that, it's
Yeah.
similar to a war paint shiner.
Oh, these look cool.
So those guys are my next major shiner. I have scarlet shiners in a tank downstairs that are going to go out into my greenhouse when I get a tank done out there ready for them.
Is that the one you're working with or looking to get, Curtis, or the Scarlet?
No, he just called them. They were just a red shiner, and they're local here.
When are you gonna get after those?
Huh?
When are you gonna get some?
Well, if I wasn't driving all over the state this weekend, I probably could just go over there and get some tomorrow or something. But
What?
Um,
I got my bucket in the truck already.
He
So-
does too.
no, I have not ever spawned Agazesia. I've never actually had Agazesia. But generally the Brocus Cories are the pain ones to spawn. There's a few other kinds, but like the ones that are in the Brocus group, a lot of those are a pain to spawn. So I believe Agazesia are supposed to be kind of annoying to spawn.
Yeah, he does have his bucket in his truck. I can guarantee you that. Yesterday he had a couple tanks in the back of his truck. So
Yeah.
I actually stopped for gas, and a sheriff's deputy came over and was like, "What's going on with this big ass tank in the back of your truck?" It was like, "This one's not big. This is only 75. You should come to my house. I'll show you big."
yeah, yeah. Surprised he didn't do that when he had that 115 in the back.
So are you selling your fish anywhere, Mitchell?
Locally and a few of the conventions that I go to, I'll sell at that. I don't really ship fish though.
That's okay. Alex will ship it
Shipping
for you.
sucks. Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay.
But I tend to clean out the different conventions that I go to. So I went to the ACA, ALA, AKA one in San Antonio last month, and
Okay.
ended up like cleaning out a lot of stuff. So I'm building up now for the Keystone Clash when that comes up.
So
There you
how
go.
far do you haul your fish to sell? Like, have you ever been to Cataclysm or?
So I've been to Cataclysm when it existed, but Cataclysm is gone now.
Yeah.
And CatCon is basically gone now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the two catfish conventions are basically no more.
So were you at the last Cataclysm then?
I was at the last Cataclysm when it was with the ACA, and
So we probably passed each other at that point then, because I was there too.
possibly, yeah. Like I get the ACA, but every convention every organization that joins with the ACA when they do their conventions, the ACA just overpowers them. So
Yeah,
there,
from
there
what
was
I
there was like
understand, that's why.
some. I was gonna say there was some catfish at the ACA Cataclysm one, but it was basically cichlids.
Yeah, mostly in people's rooms. Yeah, no, it was neat to see, but it should have been separate. It should have been its own thing, not involved with the cataclysm.
Yeah, that's about right.
It saved Jeff's wallet.
He's just gonna end up
Yeah.
going through me.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
soon as
I'll
the
drive him
temperature
up.
gets down a little bit.
Yeah, it's got
So remember,
cool.
when it gets down by you, it's frozen here. So
Yeah.
Well, it's like just on the edge of too hot right now over here. It's been like
We've,
95 for a hot minute.
we've been getting
It's
into the
100.
40s at night.
It was 104 here.
You said it's 40 at night for you?
hmm It's like 48 the last few nights.
Shoot. I'd be
You guys
sleeping-
having an early winter?
I'd be sleeping
So
outside.
that's pretty normal.
How
Usually,
am I supposed
50s.
to prepare?
Yeah, you can't. You just insulate them good, and they'll be fine. It's all about the insulation and the thermal mass, as long as they can maintain their temp within themselves. They won't boil, and they won't freeze.
So what are you planning on taking to the clash? Anything in particular besides yourself?
A few different kinds of cories, a few different rare ones. Also, should have a good sized group of Aphanius Minto killifish that should be ready for them too.
Yeah, I got those guys now too.
Those are awesome. So,
Yeah.
actually, I was. It was earlier today. It was come time to pull eggs again from them, and I was like, "Hey, I should actually like make a video on how I actually breed like these guys by the hundreds because
Yeah,
I can breed them, and I can keep like 150, 200 of them ready at a time, kind of thing."
yeah. I need to start working everything better. One day. Timing. Right now I keep everything going to the point to not lose my species, hopefully. That's my goal. And I just lost my local store, so if I breed a fish that breeds hundreds, I don't have a place to go anymore.
Yeah, that's a tough one of
Yeah,
making sure that you actually have an outlet for what you breed. Like that's one of the reasons I breed a lot of different kinds of things, but not in much quantity at all, because in the past I did, and then it was a pain to get rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've
learned. I've
when I
learned
was-
to control that.
when I first started dealing with them, she didn't understand how big angelfish batches were or could be.
Yep.
And I said, "Well, how many do you want me to make you?" She's like, "As many as you can make. I'll take them all." It's like, "Are you sure?" Absolutely. First batch was 1,000 fish. They all survived.
Yep.
And then I had another batch of around 800, another batch of around 800. And I'm going in her to deliver some finally. And she's like, "Well, how many of these do you have?" And I was like, "Well, I got 1,000 of this one, I like 800 of the next, and 800 of the other type." And her jaw just hit the floor, and she's like, "I'll start giving out your number." So then I was finding people that were going to resell them and selling them that way. Yeah, that's the only way that I made out on that angel thing, because otherwise I would have been sitting on even more than I ended up with.
And when those get any kind of size that you can sell them at, that means you needed a whole lot of tank space to house that many of them too.
Oh yeah,
So that's one of the reasons I got out of angels. Angels were the first thing that got me into breeding fish, because they were awesome, and like it just started for me. But man, like you said, you get kind of good at it. Then where are you going to put them all?
Yeah, I mean, you can only sell so many so fast online, even. So it's just right now I've got some smudge spots that I won on a live stream a few years ago, and they finally laid another batch recently, and they didn't eat them again. I think it's been like 2 years since they laid a batch, or a year or something like that. But they kept eating their babies or the eggs or whatever, and now they got some babies swimming around with them, and then my store's closed, so they should be eating the damn things.
I tell you, next year at the Quad City Swap, we're gonna have about 4 tables between all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if I'll start moving some rams soon. Well, I got to get them a little bit bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
I've got a good batch of rams going too.
Yeah.
Cheryl, I see your comment. I already had that thought, so you need to be messaging Mitchell if you want him to bring you stuff for me to bring back for you.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have no problem being the Pony Express
see.
bringing them back, but
I need Alex to get there before he leaves and send them to me.
there you
I
go.
should be going.
Yeah, just give me a stock list and we'll work something out.
Jeff will buy them all.
No,
As many as I can breed.
almost.
I got a whole lot of fireballs, like a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, so I've got a group of fireballs, but I would love to add to it. So I'd love to get another 6 or so.
So that's there's a few Corys that specifically that are not that hard to breed, but they are uncommon in the hobby, and also because of that they're expensive. Like
Yeah.
fireballs are not hard to breed, and you can breed them in good numbers. So I'm actually making it a point to produce as many fireballs, Gaussiai, and Buzzmani as I can to
Realistically,
actually
I don't
bring the
think
price down.
there should be a Cory above $20 except for the Vulcan, and the Vulcan shouldn't be where it's at either.
Well, I don't know. So like, there's the funky ones out there. So there's like Rick Boxta.
Yeah,
I've got Rick Boxta going. Those guys are amazing, but they're like crazy rare and very expensive. There's a lot of them out there. Like honestly, Vulcans shouldn't be expensive. They're
yeah.
once you actually get them going,
They're
they
easy enough to breed.
supposedly like they produce a lot. It's just I haven't had mine trigger yet.
Yeah, I should be, or if I wouldn't have ended up losing them this next spring, I should have been ready to go. So it's
You
really
you read that comment, Alex?
Yeah, I'm laughing at Whip.
Hey,
Oh,
Behave, guys.
behave. It's not 3 in the morning yet.
not yet.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Leave it to it.
Well,
You might have people messaging you so that you can bring a whole trunk load of fish up to the class.
Slew it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So-
are you setting up a table there or selling out of your room?
I don't remember if I got a table or not. I'll sell out of my room, but generally all of the different conferences I go to, the sales that I do end up paying for the conference. So it behooves me to do that. So I will be taking a load of fish anyway.
I have pepper buying all of
I undecided if I want to try bringing a duffel bag of fish on the airplane coming home, but I know Latoya and I know Jesse. I think I could just hand them to them and say, "Hey, I'll be home Tuesday. Ship me these fish."
Apparently,
Yeah.
Jesse's really close.
Yeah, he'll be there. I'll just call him and say, "I'm buying all these fish. You need to hook me up with some shipping."
Set up a shipping tank for you.
Why not?
I saw that at one of the Aquashellas. There's a shipping company, and as you buy fish, you just drop it off there, and you
Oh,
pay
really?
and put your address. Yeah, I think it wasn't in Dallas. I didn't see it there, but the last one in Daytona they had that.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure you paid for the service
Probably,
at a
yeah.
premium, but
I've seen that somewhere else. I don't remember where I saw it. There was like another little conference room that had like 20 or 30 tanks in it, and you
Mhm.
could rent one to put whatever you bought in there. Till you're ready to leave, and then you just went in there and bagged it up and took off.
and so whenever I go, like there's a couple fish that I bought in Dallas, and I just paid and said I'll pick them up at the end of the day. So I don't have to have them in a bag or anything. I'm not walking around with them. They're in a tank with air. They usually don't mind. Oh, Mark's here. Good day.
Mark. Mickham.
Mark Starlson.
Yeah, Mark and Mickham.
Oh, yep, I see that now.
Mickham from Sweden, who's another great breeder that we don't. He needs to start doing some videos because he gets stuff over there that we don't.
Yeah.
All his Epistos and Achilles.
Yeah, he's always saying, "I've just picked up these Epistos or picked up this," and I'm online, like, what the hell is that? I've never even heard of it. And he got a bag of them for $10. I'm like, what? See, here he comes with his Epistos. He wants to know if you have any Epistos.
I have some Barlow and actual Vieja. So
What were those like yellow and blue ones in your back room?
probably Barlow.
Hmm. Those are real pretty in person.
Yeah. So they're back when I used to really be into Epistos, as I have been interested in different things across the course of my hobby. I did a lot of different Epistos, but I had like this list of ones that if I ever see again available, then I will get them. So I've not really been doing Epistos for a long time, but Barlow Eye popped up for me because one of the reasons I was interested in them, they're one of the few mouth brooding Epistos, which is super cool, except that they really only mouth brood when they like absolutely have to. So in an aquarium, like you don't give them conditions that are bad enough for them to need to mouth brood, so they don't mouth brood. They just, which is still cool, but like, I wanted to see you mouth brood, but I also don't want to put you in a bad enough situation that you need to mouth brood.
Yeah. Do you have to mess with your water very much for those?
No, so in my area, it's not as amazing as Jeff's, but my pH once it settles is about 6.3 or so. TDS is like 70 or so. So it just works out super well for me that the things I'm interested in, generally like South American, Southeast Asian sorts of things, the water is like almost perfect. And it's just so much easier to add stuff into the water if you ever need to than to take it out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So starting low is like way better.
Yeah. See, that was my issue with them because I bred them, but I had to do the old half and a half or 3/4, 1/4 RO to tap water, put peat moss in it, on and on. And after a while, it was just like, I bred them. I'm done with all that work. I'm gonna let somebody else have them.
Yep.
Because it turned into work to try to keep it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to keep it consistent. Because you go do a water change and you're like, yeah, it's dirty water, but now I have to put back 3/4 RO, quarter tap, make sure my TDS is whatever.
Yeah. So that is almost effectively all of my aquariums are on like auto water changes systems, and it's amazing. But the funny thing is, the fish that I love the most, like my favorite fish, is one that I have had, but I don't currently keep intentionally now because it doesn't fit great with my auto water change system. So the Tanganyikan killifish, if you ever seen that guy, Lamprictes tanganyikas, amazing fish. But when it gets older, it becomes really sensitive to water parameters, and it really needs Lake Tanganyika fish kind of water. And with my soft, low TDS water, and I'm doing auto water changes, it was just a nightmare to try and keep the water like it really needs. So I actually passed them on to a guy that is very much into keeping like Tanganyika sorts of fish.
And so
So if I ever get out of the whole auto water change system or move to some other place, those guys will definitely be on my list to come back.
Or a single tank.
You could get those and breed them and then send me the adults because they would love my water.
So the interesting thing with those is most of the time people ship the eggs.
Yeah.
Because they come in, they have like, I would say they have like 3 phases that they go through. Like when they are young, when they're like maybe an inch and a half or so or smaller, they are so delicate that like just netting them will break their spines. So like to move them, you have to like dip them out in containers.
Yeah.
So they're like super delicate. There's this middle ground when they're maybe an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches or so, to a little bit larger, where they're actually really stable and like you can ship them. And when you get up to maybe 3 inches or so, then they start really be sensitive to water parameters. So like you could ship them, but where they're going to might have different water parameters and they might die from that.
Yeah.
So most people will actually ship the eggs, let them hatch out in whatever water you have, and you just deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
But they are amazing. Someday I will get them back.
I look at those eggs online all the time thinking, yeah, let's try it. And no, I'm not going to try it. It's one of those, do I send this money to this guy that who knows who the hell he is and what am I going to get? And can I do it?
Bro, you'd wind up with rainbow eggs.
Yeah, I might end up with a bag of rainbow eggs or who knows what.
So I will say, like, you can tell a Tanganyikan killifish egg because it is like, it's larger than 1/8 inch across. Like it is, you can actually hold it in your hand and see it visibly when the eye starts to show up on it without a magnifying glass or anything like that. There's a big egg for a killifish.
How big does a killie get?
They'll get 4 inches or so.
Okay.
The cool thing is like they look a lot like a rainbow fish, but they're a killifish from Tanganyika, which is weird. And they have this reflective coloring to them that is like hit or miss if you can actually find a picture that makes them look good or not. A lot of them, they look awful. But if you find a video, generally you can see them turn in a video, and for that split second when they turn just right, it's like, oh, that's why people want that fish.
I know I'm thinking about bringing on 1 or 2 more killies, but I'm going to be pretty darn particular about them. Because I don't have tank space that I really need to do it right.
Yeah.
So many awesome ones.
Yeah, there's just so many fish out there I want to work with. If I had 1,000 tanks, I still couldn't do it.
Yep.
There was a guy on
Talking about breeders here.
on Massey, the Missouri Aquarium Society channel on YouTube. There was a killifish guy on there. I would recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch it because I don't remember the guy's name, but he had a really good presentation on killifish.
Yeah, I'm really confident. I watched it a couple times.
Yeah, I was just like, wow.
Yeah. I know I belong to that aquarium club just because they share everything online and I kind of participate a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm like, 12 hours away, and I'm a member of the club for some stupid reason. But
Yeah, I'm northern Wisconsin. Where are they at?
St. Louis.
Yeah,
3.5 hours from me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so next year, the American Killifish Organization is going to have their convention in St. Louis.
Really?
nice.
Yeah, the
I-
AKA.
I should have went to it when I was in Wisconsin. I think it was a few years ago now, or maybe it was Michigan. But it was close enough for me to actually go to, and I should have.
Yeah, there was I think a year and a half, 2 years ago. I think it was in Wisconsin,
Yeah,
and it was I think it was combined with the ACA and the Live Bears, I believe.
I think I had to make a choice between doing Cataclysm or that for the summer. I might be remembering it wrong, but
As far as the mouth brooders, years ago I had the Egyptian mouth brooders, but I haven't seen those in years.
I don't think I know them.
That's a West African river cichlid, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's the cichlids from Africa that are not from the lakes. Basically, almost nobody talks about them.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in years.
Yeah, I'm still one of those guys that I'm looking at them like, someday I'm gonna have that tank of buffalo heads or something,
Uh-huh.
something weird like that no one would expect, just because I think they're cool. They're cool.
Look up Nanochromis. There's a few different species of Nanochromis. Derpiest looking fish, but the colors on them are amazing.
Oh,
And I've got enough other tanks sitting around that's like, someday I'm just gonna do it. Not gonna make any money. I'm just gonna sit there and stare at it. But that's fine. That's cool.
Somebody had a bunch of buffalo heads here a while back. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
It might have been Corey.
That's like if my brother Craig in Australia would ever send me some of those desert gobies, I'd set up a tank for those too. But
Right?
Those are super cool. I've
Those
had
are-
those before.
I've never had them. I've seen them. I'm gonna jump on them next time I see them. I'm probably gonna be thrown out in the doghouse again for using my credit card. But
They aren't that expensive. They just don't come up very often.
I know where they are. I'm not saying it on here either.
Yeah,
I know who has them. Just gotta do it.
do it. You only live once.
Yeah.
What if
You
you
can
don't
only
see them
put
again?
one goose egg on your head at a time.
Yeah,
What if they don't have them again, and then you don't get them at all?
I know.
that's entirely possible. Like my wait for the canines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Local Austin had them recently too. I don't know where he sourced them from, but he's in Texas.
I don't ask for forgiveness. Hopefully, I can sneak them in and she won't even notice.
Yeah.
She notices when I leave tanks in the garage. If I get them, while she's at work, if I get them out of the truck and get them in here or downstairs somewhere, it's like, that's been sitting there since last spring. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
you're gonna get in trouble one of these days.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
can't-
just not for speeding tickets.
Yeah, she can't say a whole lot out. Her speeding tickets and dragging home 60-year-old cars for me to work on. I mean,
Yeah.
like I got nothing else to do in my life. Oh, well. What are these guys talking about this in Texas? Snakeheads?
I missed it.
It's just what they need.
Yeah, ABC wants snakeheads.
Yeah, a lot of us do, huh?
Yeah, I
I
would
want the
take.
small ones.
Yeah, just the dwarf ones. They need
Yeah.
to legalize the dwarf ones only. And then
Yeah.
I will be at the top of the list for something like
Mhm.
a Blara or something like that.
Yeah, me too.
As long as they stick to the small ones, then any bass or pike can eat them. If somebody was dumb enough to let them go again.
I'm not gonna let them go.
Well-
If it ever dies, I'm
Well-
mounting a damn thing on the wall.
Yeah,
The
I feel
big
like
problem-
most of the wild stuff is, that got loose in Florida wasn't necessarily from like Fish Keeper, but from the hurricanes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't save an aquarium from a damn hurricane.
From what I've seen, a big problem with them is like in the early like 80s and 90s, there was basically just crazy fear mongering about them.
Yeah.
There's no way that most of them are more invasive than like some of the peacock bass that were intentionally introduced to Florida.
Yeah. Well, they're less invasive than a bluegill.
Yeah. But bluegill are everywhere and there's
Yeah.
no problem with them.
Like,
Like they
And
they
they
need
didn't
to
used to be everywhere.
reevaluate. Yeah, they need to
I know that-
reevaluate their lists for sure.
see us get
I'd like to know how many fish we actually extincted by introducing the bluegill and the perch and all the lakes that we have.
No one wants to write that down.
I mean, I know that we have some killifish, but they're almost impossible to find if you ever find them. The only ones I can ever find are the mud minnow. I forget what the hell its real name is. I think it was recently reclassified as a killie.
Oh, by you?
Yeah, it's a common mud minnow throughout Wisconsin.
I have the banded killifish that are from up north.
Yeah, I want to get some bandits also because they're native as well. And then so is top water starhead or starhead topwater.
That goes back to make sure your lid's on because they're superb jumper. They can do
What
some
freaking
they can do some length like 3 or 4 foot across the room.
oh yeah, I haven't had that yet. I keep my tanks down like usually 3 or 4 inches on any of my top water guys that jump. But one of them that I got from Geek Boy jumped the next tank over because I recently seen it swimming around in there. So it's in there eating up what is it, the daisy rice fish eggs and babies.
He's got some of those
Yeah.
too.
And
Yeah, Kenny, I got the bluefin killifish too. Males are pretty nice on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as nice as a rainbow shiner. Hint, hint, Alex, but
yeah, no,
Okay.
it's like about 17 minutes or so for me.
yeah, bluefins are cool.
Yeah, so we'll probably end a little early tonight. That way Jeff's got time to get ready.
You're all right.
Don't take up too much of Mitchell's time.
That's fine.
It's good chatting with you, Mitchell.
Yeah.
Definitely need a list from you.
I could see you guys if me and Alex go to the Clash. We're gonna have like this tubs all the way through the freaking hotel room full of. We'll just move it from Mitchell's room to our room so we can disperse it. See this coming.
Yep.
I could see.
Mitchell, just get checked in. Everybody, what you bring? What'd you bring? What'd you bring?
I'll be with.
Yeah.
We're gonna help him. We're gonna help him unload his car when he gets there. What are you talking about?
Trying to get
Don't
an
know
early
what you
look at
got,
these
but it
guys.
can go right in that white Dodge over there.
You said that one of the minnows you have is a sapphire?
Scarlets.
Scarlet. Okay, I remember the
Scarlet.
scarlet. That's the red and yellow. Right?
I think you're thinking
Yellow
maybe
strip?
saffron.
Saffron.
Oh, sorry, saffron. That's the one. Yeah.
Saffrons are amazing.
Yeah. Who are those native to?
They are, I think, the Carolinas, edge of Tennessee. I think.
Yeah. Tennessee, Kentucky, somewhere in there.
Okay. I need somebody to catch me some black-banded sunfish
Yeah.
from the East
Get-
Coast.
Get Asia. She lives over in that area.
Yeah. Asia, get after it.
Make her ship you fish.
Mick, right now I'm only I don't work on everything that I have. I would never be able to work on everything I have at one time. So I tend to focus on maybe like 5 or 6 different things, and then some things will breed on their own. So right now I'm working on maybe about 6 or so different species.
Mitchell, ever since I put out those videos with your fish room, how many emails and messages have you been getting about it?
Oh goodness, I don't.
Too many.
Yeah, well, no, it's not too many, but like it's just I don't know how to quantify it. So they
I'm
come
getting a
all the
lot
time.
of them because
Yep.
they think I'm you.
No,
And I redirect them and I send them to your
got it.
channel and your Etsy store and everything.
no, I get a fair number of them. Yeah, it's interesting. It's cool.
But it's good being up here with you, Mitchell. I got to cut out so I can get a smoke in and get ready for my stream and stuff. But hopefully we talk again.
See,
Oh,
Jeff?
yeah.
Bye, everybody.
See you, Jeff. Seems like there's a whole lot of interest in native fish lately. Is that what you guys are thinking?
I think so.
And that's a good thing. I think it is. There's a lot of very pretty fish around here.
Oh, now that your camera's bigger, I see you redid your dark tank.
A little
You
bit.
put a light on it too.
Well, so it had lights on it, but I actually put more tannins in it. So
Mhm.
like one of my problems with the auto water changes is like you get rid of tannins automatically. So I periodically have to like put alder cones and
Tap leaves.
yeah, and then for when Greg Sage came in the week before, then I intentionally like darken it up good to get a good look for them. So it's gradually lightening up. But when it's good and dark, like a really tea stained one, those couple of spotlights really shine in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Let's get there. Thank
Thanks.
Mitchell for coming on.
Oh yeah, thanks for having
It's been
me.
a pleasure.
You need to come back about another 20 or 30 times.
Oh yeah.
Did
As
you
long
put a
as
link
I'm
in the chat?
available.
Anytime you want to jump in with us, Mitchell, you're more than welcome.
Awesome, sounds good.
Thank you everybody for chat, moderators. Curtis, Alex, Jeff Kane. We'll see everybody next week.
Make sure you all go subscribe to Mitchell's channel.
I was a long time ago. I can say that.
And then run everything through